I locked in for a year and nothing's changed.
That was me 4 years ago, around the time I started self-improvement. I started self-improvement around 4 to 5 years ago, and at the time of the recording of the video, I think I'd been on self-improvement for around 6 months to maybe 1 year. Yeah, maybe around there. And for a long time, I didn't really think about the results. I just kind of blindly did what I was told, which is a lot of people say, oh, that's really bad. Not when you're doing the right things, but I was just basically putting in the work, not really thinking about, oh, am I getting the results? Because I knew they would take time. But the thing is, after a few months, no, not a few months, after a year or two of putting in the work, or maybe 3 or 4 years of putting in the work, and you look around and you see your classmates, your friends who aren't putting in the work. So let's say your classmates especially, who aren't putting in the work, or people, your friends who are putting in less work than you are still more or less at the same level. You really wonder, man, is any of this even worth it? Like, why am I hitting a workout every single time and never skipping? Why am I eating clean? Why am I uninstalling all these apps from my phone? Why am I literally waking up in the dark to get extra work done before school? Why am I not going out partying? Why am I doing all this homework and this schoolwork and being productive all the time if it leads me to the exact same place as the motherfucker next to me who's just sat there, scrolled, smoked, vaped, gone partying, hasn't done his homework, hasn't done anything? It's obviously quite demotivating, and you think, man, on the one hand, you kind of know it's working. You feel very good, but you wonder, would I feel as good if I hadn't put any of this work in? Because it definitely seems like the other people are having a fine time and they've never meditated in their lives. They rarely go to the gym, or they do it the fucking end of the day, because by then they've been able to build up their fucking willpower. And it was the other day, well, not the other day at this point, I think it was maybe a month ago in history class, we were talking about decolonialization and independence, right? The independence of a lot of countries. And we specifically looked at Gandhi and his story and the independence of India. And what really struck me was that Gandhi, if you don't know him, he fought for India's independence through nonviolence and whatever. He spent 4 decades fighting for independence in one way or another, or fighting against inequality that he saw, before seeing any sort of payoff. I think he started around the 1920s, early 1920s, and it wasn't until the mid to late 1950s, or maybe early 1950s, that India became an independent country. That means 30 to 40 years of showing up every single day. Gandhi couldn't just go one day, oh, okay, well, I guess we'll just stay a colony. Like, well, it didn't work out, so we'll just stay here. No, he couldn't do that. Every single day for 30, not 3, 30 to 40 years, he fought for India's independence. He fought for India's independence, and nothing worked. And what I realized is self-improvement is exactly like that. A lot of people are going to think, what? 30 to 40 years without seeing results? Nah, it's not worth it. No, I don't mean 30 to 40 years, but what I do mean is the first 3 to 4 years, you're not going to notice very many results. But what you have to realize is it's more of an exponential curve. Year 1 and year 2, you're basically going to be the same. You're going to be putting in all this work. You're not going to see any difference from the guy next to you. Your physique is basically as skinny or as fat as he is. Your grades are maybe, yeah, your grades do tend to change quite fast, but maybe your brain is still fucked up. You still scroll, or you have bad mental health, or you still are single and you don't attract any women. Everything's the same. Year 3 or 4 is when you notice slight differences, but that's when you really wonder, man, I'm doing all this work and I'm not a fucking millionaire yet, unlike everybody on social media, it seems. And I'm still stuck in this fucking class with these morons. And I'm putting in all this work, but for like a better physique and slightly better social skills, and my mental health is good, but it seems like theirs is too, so why am I doing all of this? But it's not until, I think, year 5 that things really start to get good. But then from that point on, it's just exponential. And I have to imagine it was the same with Gandhi. Maybe for the first 5 years, nothing worked out. But it was magically around year 5, year 6, year 7 that things started working in his favor. The ball started rolling. And then year 15, he needs to put in less work, but the results are just compounding. It's like a snowball, and it's getting bigger and bigger with every turn until by year 40, it knocks over the massive castle that the fucking British have built on India and leads to independence, right? It's not that he broke down the castle by himself. It was that he started pushing this little snowball up the hill, and then it started rolling down the hill, and then it grew and it grew until it became unstoppable. And that's something I thought about, which is, I mean, already I'm starting to see the difference. But I know for a fact that in 10, 20 years, because this is the fucking long game, like if you thought you could lock in for 6 months and your life would change and you would become a millionaire and all of this shit would happen, I'm sorry to break it to you, that's not gonna happen. Maybe it will. I hope it will. But 99.99999 fucking recurring, it's not gonna happen. And so the question is, at this point, it's not like, are you willing to put in the work? But it's, are you willing to put in the work for as long as it takes? Or when will you stop? Because if you, I can guarantee you, 10, 20, 30 years down the line, the difference is going to be fucking crazy. You won't even think we're both human at this point. That's when you really notice that. That's when you think, holy shit, this is worth it. Because looking at, I think it was Freud, I don't know who said it, looking back, the years of struggle will seem the sweetest or something like that. But you'll realize the struggle wasn't even that bad. I mean, the time is gonna pass by anyway, so you might as well spend it doing something worth it, maybe? Yeah, you might as well spend it doing something that's actually worth it. So this is just a reminder that this shit takes time. And so what should you strive for? The ideal is you basically put in as much work as possible and push for the fastest results possible while still knowing that this shit takes time. So what does that look like? That looks like you show up to the gym and you give everything you've got. You fucking puke on the floor. But you know that that workout isn't going to make you jacked. You run as fast as you can. You put in as many work hours into your business as you can, almost knowing this business is going to fail. But the reason you do it is because you know that if you put in 100, 500, 1,000 of those puking workouts, you will have a fucking Greek god's physique, like sculpted out of fucking marble physique. You know that if you put in hours of work onto your business every single fucking day, you wake up and the first thing you think about, you go to bed and the last thing you think about is your business, you know that in not 1 year, maybe not even 5 or 10 years, but at some point you just need one breakthrough to completely change your life. I'm talking one of your businesses just suddenly explodes or just has steady growth year over year for 10 years and suddenly you're a multi or decabillionaire if you want. You push for as much improvement as you can. You push it to the limit whilst knowing that a single one rep is not going to change it. It's the reps, like doing it over and over and over again, that actually leads to something. Don't push so hard that you burn out. Then again, I don't really believe in burnout. Burnout only happens if you're doing something you don't care about. But don't push yourself too hard. It's like, don't overtrain and then you get injured. Don't work so hard that you get sleep deprived and then your work quality is lower. Don't do that. But push as hard as you can sustainably. Work out, lift as much weight as you can while still being able to recover for the next gym session. Put in as many hours as you can while still getting enough sleep and, say, time with your family to be able to recharge for the next work session and do that over and over and over again every single fucking day of every single week of every single month for years. Over time, how much you're able to lift, how fast you're able to run and still recover is going to increase. Just like anything, you build up resistance to it. And with this, I would urge you to uninstall what I call the dopamine merchants, which are social media, which are porn, which are everything that gives you pleasure. I'm talking especially social media here, because what happens when you scroll social media, you see all these people and you think, holy shit, they're all successful and they've done it in like 2 days. Their fucking Shopify business went from 0 to $1 million in 2 days. And I've been here doing this for so long and nothing works out. You see these crazy body transformations of like 1 year body transformation. The guy goes from the skinniest dude you've ever seen, a literal fucking skeleton, to Arnold Schwarzenegger. And you're like, man, oh, I guess my genetics are bad, so I should just be a blob. But what you don't see is the guy's taking steroids and it's actually been 5 years. And he's just waited a long time to come out on social media. And it's also just fucking toxic for your brain. It doesn't give you anything, it just wastes your time. You're living through somebody else. You're basically cucking yourself, but for life. You're not only for like relationships, for your entire life, you're just being a cuck. And I'm telling you, the life you get from doing this is just unbelievable. And I'm not only talking about the results, like the money, the body, the women, whatever, the productivity. I'm also talking about happiness. I'm also talking about how good, motivated, energized you feel. Obviously, you'll get fucking women and charisma and friends and a great physique and mental fortitude and endurance, but you'll also feel fulfilled. You'll go to bed at night thinking, man, that was a good day and I'm proud of who I am. You will never, and I mean never, want to cut yourself if you live like this, which is crazy. The world. What does the world tell you? The world tells you, oh, too much is bad. You're gonna burn out. You're going to hurt yourself. You should scroll. You should vape. You should consume this fuck-ass content. You should, not this one, I mean like AI slop. It would be funny if this was AI. You should take mental health fucking rest days. You should only do what you feel like. And what does that lead to? That leads to people cutting themselves. That leads to people killing themselves. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. I might get demonetized or whatever, but it is the case. I'll talk about this in another video, but I've literally fucking seen it. That's what it leads to. I don't know about you, but I don't want to do that. If you don't know me, my mission is to lead the world to enlightenment, so you can join us, subscribe, watch the other videos in the catalog, and I'll see you soon.